The storyful portion of the design lays out the object of the game to protect the human body and the heart from three adversaries: the common cold, the free radical, the boss character of the game, who's the flu bug. By the way of Ready Freddy, firing his neutrophil antibodies at these enemies. The game is intended for early learners, but I've actually sort of structured it to interest players, hopefully all the way up to age 14. The floating red and blue blood orbs, as well as the incorporation of the white blood cell into the storyline of the app, is hoped to trigger the early learner's thoughts on the multiple colors within blood. The goal of the app is to spark the player learner's interest in the topic without the full complexities of it all, in hopes of inspiring new discovery through further research. And here we have a look at the antagonist characters. We have the common cold, the free radical, and of course the flu bug. And here we see the flu bug as well as the common cold in action on the iPad itself. In my previous life, I was an art major, so this is where I get to sort of stretch my imagination and be a kid again. I had a lot of fun doing this. But there were some challenges. Some of the challenges in doing Ready Freddy, the Red Blood Cell 3D, was of course creating three-dimensionality in a 2D platform environment. I actually used a software called Game Salad, which is an online application you can look up at gamesalad.com. It allows you to take the characters that you want, animate them, give them actions, give them directions, as well as interact with the other elements of the game. Unfortunately, like most games and most art, it's like working on a flat piece of paper. So to give things dimension, you have to sort of be clever and challenge yourself to give that feeling of depth. Like looking back in this room, I can see that there's distance. So that was a really big challenge to give this sort of a 3D quality, especially when using the 3D glasses. Also creating a concept for the early learner that was grasped, that they could easily grasp, that was a challenge. Giving X and Y coordinates and on-screen direction to the game elements, the characters, the blood flow. I'm okay at algebra, I'm not the best. So using X and Y is somewhat challenging for me, but I was able to complete, most of what I visualized in my head and put it into the game. Another challenge was the constant blood flow, which I was looking for. In Game Salad, like I said, you can give things direction and motion, but as far as making loops and having things pick up from one point, end at another point, and begin again, was a little daunting. So I would say that was one of the main challenges, and you'll see the blood flow in the app, and you'll probably get an idea of why that was a little harder to do. And also, Ready Freddy's combined attributes, basically taking the whole immune system and trying to unify it. That was a big challenge. So there's the overview of the Prezi. If you decide you'd like to check out Prezi for a presentation, you can find it at prezi.com. It's Prezi.com. I think it's pretty neat. As far as references, of course, a host of COSC courses which I've taken here at the University of Baltimore. COSC 160, Graphics for Game Design, COSC 315, Interactive Design, 330, which was Applied Simulation, COSC 324, Designing for Humans, COSC 497, Interactive Design Education, which was sort of like a pioneer course for the summer that I think the department's thinking about continuing. COSC 499, which was an independent study I did with Dr. Anastasia Salter. She gave me a lot of insight on how to build interfaces, especially with the iPad and the iPhone. This semester I'm currently taking Biology 101, Humankind in the Biological World, which is about microbes. So that allowed me to kind of pick the app back up now and even make it more accurate and start honing things down even more for the early learner. There was also a host of other references from the internet, whether it be Google Scholar, some great books I picked up along the way, What Video Games Have to Teach Us About Learning and Literacy, Children's Critical Thinking When Learning from Others, Computers and Young Children, Educational Technology, Research and Development. The information spanned from here to Australia as I continue to research, so I have a lot of great references. There we have someone touching the iPad. Basically, what kind of sparked this concept, although it started out as an Xbox game. And that ends the presentation portion, and now I'll show you the app itself.